going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Chase, and today we are going to talk about one of my favorite new Marvel characters, I should say. One of my favorite new Marvel characters is making a return in a new solo series. I don't know if it's a mini-series or what. Marvel never says. Sometimes they say it's a new series, and then it just turns into a mini-series because sales are so bad and dismal over at Marvel. But they are resurrecting and bringing back Gwenpool. Gwenpool Strikes Back. I love this character. Of all the new Marvel characters that are out there, Gwenpool definitely has to be my favorite. I love her personality, everything that makes her her. She's a really cool character. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm really excited for it. And shoot, Terry Dodson cover. It's pretty awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so like I said, we got a cool, awesome Terry Dodson cover right here on Gwenpool Strikes Back #1. And what's cool about this cover is Gwenpool is in this story, like she should be. And this guy right here, Spider-Man, he's also in this story. And it takes place in a bank. And there's people around. Now this very scene right here, spoiler alert, does not actually happen. But if Gwenpool reimagined it, that is probably how it would have happened. So yeah, so cool cover. I think there's actually 4 different covers. 4 variant covers. And I do have one of the others, so because I like Gwenpool. Like I said, I like Gwenpool. Like I said, she's literally my new favorite Marvel character. Favorite new Marvel character, however you want to put that. So yeah, I love Terry Dodson. I first discovered Terry Dodson when he did Harley Quinn back in the early 2000s on the first Harley Quinn. Really loved his art back then. Well, still do. So anyway, Gwenpool was in a series before called The Unbelievable Gwenpool, which had about 25 issues and then it ran out. And that was written by Chris Hastings and drawn by Gertie Hiru. That's Japanese. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it Japanese-wise. I'll just do it American style. It was Gertie Hiru, which they actually also did one of the variant covers, Gertie Hiru. Yeah, Gertie Hiru. So anyway, what I really like about this story, well, I was going to talk about the art, but I'll get to the art in just a second. So this story does not pick up where Unbelievable Gwenpool left off, although it doesn't feel like it. Well, let Gwen explain it, okay? So it starts off basically, what? I'm back in my own solo series. I'm Gwenpool. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Now, usually I get really frustrated when I see wall of text like this. Like, there's so much pink bubbles here. But I will say this. It is not, like, unnecessary. Like, she's joking, doing all sorts of things. But she's also giving the reader a retelling of who she is, everything like that. Because as she makes a joke about it. It gets kind of meta. It's like, oh, this is a cold open. Alright. Like, where's my title page? Yeah, it's not there. And she's like, what? That girl? I wasn't talking to you. Cool, yeah. Just leave all the exposition to me then, I guess. Just boop, that recap stuff. So she makes a joke about her having to actually talk about everything to get the reader caught up. Let me just tell you the difference between her, because as she actually says, between her and Deadpool. Some challenges I face include getting confused for Gwen Stacy, or for girl Deadpool, since my last name is Pool. And I have this whole fourth wall breaking thing too. Gwenpool is not Gwen Stacy, okay? And she is not a female Deadpool. Okay, so Gwenpool, the first time we ever saw Gwenpool was in it was a Deadpool cover of Secret Wars. And it was Marvel was doing a series of variant covers with a Gwen Stacy theme. So when it came to Deadpool, they drew, well, Gwenpool. That's where it started. And then people really liked that cover, really liked who this character was, even though she wasn't really written into anything. And then she made her first appearance in Howard the Duck. And then from there, she went on to have her own series, which was the Unbelievable Gwenpool. So yeah, so the main difference between her and Deadpool, okay, let's clear that up too. Deadpool is a Marvel comic character. He was created as a Marvel comic character who basically matrixed himself into realizing that he is in a comic book. That he is a comic book character, but he realizes there's somebody out here that reads what he is doing and follows his story. And so thus he talks to you. That's Deadpool. Gwenpool, and by the way, it's Gwendolyn Poole, so she's not Gwen Stacy, is a real girl from our world who was transported into a comic book. So she has an understanding of, and she's a comic book fan, of course. And so she has a full understanding of everything Marvel Comics, of all of Marvel comic canon, because she makes reference after reference after reference to different things that have happened in Marvel Comics history. And so in that right, she has kind of a spectacular power in that she basically knows everything, all the history, everything, and all the secrets too that some characters may not know. So, okay, there you go. You're kind of caught up now. So it opens up, boom, this is how a comic should open. It opens up her shooting a freaking machine gun and just causing mayhem and all that kind of stuff. So the writer on this is Leah Williams, and I honestly I don't really know her from much else, so I'll hide that page. It's Leah Williams, and the artist is David Baldeón. I don't really know her from a lot of things, so I think she did Barbarella and Deja Thoris. She'd also worked on X-Men Black, and I'll admit I didn't read either one of those because I just wasn't interested. I did see reviews for Barbarella and Deja Thoris, and they weren't all that positive. It's not that the story was bad, it was just the characters weren't really true to their personality, so it was more of that stuff. But I will say this, Leah, if you are watching this, you know Gwenpool, and I really appreciate you for that, because you definitely know who Gwenpool is, know how she acts, and you wrote her very well. So Gwenpool is very true to character in all of this, and this art, man, David Baldeón, his art, man, is just so good. It has it feels like a very much like a Saturday morning cartoon. And look at this, like it's jumping right into action. Yes, we had some exposition to kind of explain new readers what the heck is going on, and who she is and why she's awesome. And then it jumps into action, shooting a gun, Spider-Man swinging in, and like it. Yes, this is what you want to have in a comic book. Yeah, so she's robbing a bank. That's what's happening, and Spider-Man comes to save the day. Yeah, like look at this art. Like it doesn't look like he's using 3D models, because man, like, you know, you go like you get to Squirrel Girl or And let's give props to the colorist too. The colorist does a fantastic job. You know, sometimes the colorist doesn't get as much props as they should. I say that and I don't even go look up the name for the colorist. All right, let's look at the name for the colorist. Jesus Albertov. So, yeah, it just starts off and there's action. Spider-Man comes. So I'm not going to give away the ending, but I will give away kind of the plot point. What's happening is Gwenpool isn't actually robbing this bank, as she puts it. I mean, if you want to get technical, I guess, yeah. I was robbing this bank of all the dangerous radioactive materials currently in here. Basically, what she's doing is she realizes she's just a human. And so she is trying to get a superhuman power. And so she has a plan to get Spider-Man here to come. And her plan is to... where does she say? So I got to the part where she explains her plan a little bit. But let's go back just really quick. So what she's doing is she wants Spider-Man here to bite her so that way she can have radioactive powers. And so that's why she's got this Geiger counter. So he says, so you were here helping to get rid of radiation? Uh-huh. So she's got a radiation Geiger because... radioactive Spider-Man, maybe he has radiation. I don't know. This here's my trusty Geiger counter. Hey, boundaries. Yeah, that's funny. Come on, that's funny. Oh, that's fair. Sorry. And you help by riddling the ceiling with bullet holes? Yeah, duh, because radiation rises. And so then mayhem ensues, and he ties her up in his webbing. And he says, I'm not even radioactive, Gwen. The spider that bit me was. I know, and this is where she gets kind of, where she, knows all of the comic history. I know, but there's this one comic story where you talk about your bodily fluids in that way. Comics? This isn't a comic book. This is my life. Whatever. You can just try it. And he's, goes off and talks about how she's insane and all that. So that is the crux of what she's trying to do. She's trying to find a superpower to find her place in this Marvel superhero world. And I'm gonna talk about this art real quick. Again, I really like this artwork. It's fantastic. It's really fun. It's bright. It's stylistic, and it's like I said, it feels like I'm watching a Saturday morning cartoon when I am reading it. I get you have to cut corners and you have to, speed things along. I totally understand it. But this is one of these are one of my minor annoyances. This is the same Spider-Man here as it is here. And it's the same Spider-Man here. And this part of Spider-Man is the same Spider-Man in all these other three. Except the head turned and the arm came up. That just annoys me. It just, it's not a big deal. It's definitely not a deal breaker. I still, I'm not going to say, oh, guy's not talented. No, the guy's super talented, and I love his work. But those are just those little things that just annoy me. If you go look at, a Frank Cho art in comic book, where he's kind of drawing the same pose, but if you look closely, and I guess that's just me, because, I like to draw whatever. I appreciate that he took the time to draw each different one, even if he could have just copied paste. So that was a little bit of a letdown, but totally understandable at the same time. I get it. And you know what? If I was in a pinch, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do it. I probably would. So anyway, Gwenpool does eventually discover what her real power is. You kind of have one of her other powers is that she can, like I said, leave the comic border into the gutter, which she does right here. She leaves and goes into the borders, the gutters of the comic book, which, if you read in The Unbelievable Gwenpool, then she can travel to different panels. So in this one, we see her powers get a little bigger. And so I'm not going to give that away because that's like, it was really cool. So overall, I really liked this comic. I thought it was really great. And Leah Williams, you did a fantastic job. You delivered. There was no SJW agenda, which is plaguing Marvel. It was just a very fun, cool story with great art. And like, I got to the end and I was really excited to find out what happened next. What happens next. So this would be my recommend for the week, is go get Gwenpool Strikes Back #1. I mean, man, you got a great writer who obviously understands the character, great artist, and then you got Terry Dodson doing the main covers. This is a great team we got going on here, man. I'm super excited for what Gwenpool has coming down the pipe. I definitely highly recommend it. Go out and get it. Show Marvel that this is a comic that we like. It's a fun story. It's bright, and it makes you, when you're done with it, like, yeah, that was a fun story to read. I don't feel like I got preached at. So go get Gwenpool. And yeah, if you like this video also, please go down and like it. Give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There are more videos like this and other videos. Still trying to, get my footing on where this channel's gonna go. But yeah, if you didn't like it, which I don't know how you couldn't. Like, I don't know how you could have not liked this comic. I don't know if it's sold well. I don't know, because I don't know. There's a lot of fans out there, right, still of Gwenpool. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Get this book. Highly recommend. And yeah, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.